Well, you have no doubt read the title and are now furiously and angrily typing in the comment section. Before you do that, let me preface the show with this. I am a huge Diablo fan. Like, mental Diablo fan. After I played Diablo 1, I wanted more of it so much, I started digging through the files just to see more of the game, and I actually found more of the game that wasn't actually in the game, like that priest Tremaine, that island on the Sunless Sea, Andariel and her succubi invading Tristram, some of the bugs that were in the expansion, and that still wasn't enough, so I started doing my own Diablo stuff. I've written award-winning Diablo fanfiction. Granted, they weren't very big awards, because for a long time Blizzard were a bit xenophobic about who's allowed to enter their main contests, but still, I'm about as big as a fan as Diablo can have. So trust me when I say that Diablo 3 is still crap. And this is the top 7 reasons why Diablo 3 is still crap. A top dedicated to the reasons, to the exact reasons enumerated, justified as to why the game still doesn't hold a candle to what it should have been. And before you go saying, well, it sold a bunch of stuff, it must be amazing. Why else would over 10 million people buy it? Because it's called Diablo 3. If I had the money on hand back then, I would have pre-ordered it day 1, well, day 0, no questions asked. That being said, let's get it started with number 7, questionable direction. So what is the essence of Diablo, I ask you? Killing things in interesting ways and gathering fat loot. You know it is. You know that's why you play Diablo 1, that's why you play Diablo 2, that's why you just drooled over all those videos of Diablo 3. But of course, according to Blizzard, that's not the essence of Diablo. No, the essence of Diablo is trading items with other people. Or no, wait, that was the essence of Diablo during the old reign of J. Fuck that loser Wilson. The middle name refers to what he told one of the creators of Diablo. The more recent director of the game had other ideas. He tried to steer it in a different direction, which some people seem to enjoy. Well, he's not there either, and now Blizzard is hiring someone else to guide this clusterfunk into a brand new millennium. And with all the flip-flopping and the changes, you sort of get the sense that this game doesn't really have an actual direction. I mean, if you just look at all they've said about the game before it was released, you'll see that that was not actually what they released. And after J. Fuck that loser Wilson, they changed it again. And they'll probably change it once more when a new game director is found. Almost like whatever plan they had for Diablo 3 sort of vanished when they made a button of money and actually stopped caring. Number 6. Still no PvP. Now, how many years has it been since this game was released? 4 years, you say. And in these 4 years, Blizzard has not been able to actually get that arena PvP working. It seemed like such a neat and simple thing to actually do, mostly because it seemed like such a simple thing to actually do. Put players in an arena, let them fight, have fun, and maybe give them some trinkets to show how well they did, like their opponent's ears. But they can't do that actually, can they? Not with how the game is balanced in such a way that every character is a glass cannon with absolutely no means of actually properly mitigating the damage they can deal. But that would be okay, just impose some limits on the damage being dealt in PvP or just buff the HP of everyone by a factor of 10. Oh sure, it's not like this PvP arena mode would have made the game incredibly better. It wasn't a critical feature, but they sold it with the promise of it being there, and then after the release they just said they wouldn't do it because it didn't have enough depth. Have they seen their own progression system in the game? They really should take a closer look at it. Number 5. It's always online. To be fair, playing on Battle.net has always been always online, which is not actually a good thing. I've played Diablo 2 on Battle.net. I have no idea where they host the European servers for Battle.net because I can't get a ping under 100. I haven't been able to get a ping lower than that for the better part of a decade. Now with Diablo 3 things are a bit better, the lag is noticeably smaller, but there can be hiccups. You know, those little things that happen when the world's most dearest to you and your hardcore character is facing against a boss and you're just about to beat it and, oh look, the game desynced for about 1 second and you died. Now, had you been able to make that character in single player, it wouldn't have died. Had you actually been able to play in single player at all, it would have been better because then, hey, my internet is down because of stuff. Probably because I didn't pay for it this month since I spent 3 times as much buying Diablo 3. PC, so I can't play it online, or at all. Now I know they did this to fight piracy, is what they say, but no, they didn't do this to fight piracy at all. I'll get to why they did this later. The point of the matter is, if I can't play it on my PC, if I can't customize it, if I can't make it mine, it's kind of a crappy Diablo game. You know what gave Diablo 1 and 2 longevity? It was that you could play it on Battle.net and also mod the shit out of it. You had the best of both worlds, but not in Diablo 3. You just have the of one world. Number 4. The way skill damage is calculated. I've been carrying this joke around for about 5 years. Why, Agatha? Why are you carrying around such a ginormous axe? You're a witch. Why would the witch need such a big axe? Don't you throw fireballs? Why, yes, I do, but you see, the bigger and sharper the axe, the hotter my fireballs get. I don't know why, it doesn't make a lick of sense. It's absolutely hysterical when you think about it, and it just goes against any sort of character design possible, where you see wizards wielding swords, and monks wielding axes which sometimes disappear from their hands when they punch people, and it makes no goddamn sense, and whoever thought up this way of calculating skill damage really doesn't understand any sort of character design. I did an entire show about just this aspect. It's not in English, but it does have English subtitles. You keep hearing the people at Blizzard saying, well, where's the fantasy? What do we want this character to represent? Well, that wizard has a giant freaking axe, which he uses in combat. Not to hit people with, but to shoot frost rays that cause damage based on how big the axe is. Am I the only one seeing a gigantic problem here? Like, design-wise, theme-wise, a gigantic problem that no one else seems to notice that much. And you know why they made it that way, don't you? It's the same reason it's always online. And that is, number 3, the auction house and the items. Now you're gonna say, well, they removed the auction house. It's no longer a problem and the game is now fantastic. They removed the auction house, yes, but not all the negative effects the auction house had. Make no mistake. Before 2012, Diablo 3 was a different game. Since they announced the auction house, it became another Diablo. The auction house overwrote a lot of design elements. They made it always online so people would not be able to cheat items and sell them on the auction house, or worse, mod items into the game and then not have to purchase anything from the auction house. You know, the one from which Blizzard made mad stacks of cash. The one through which Blizzard legalized gold farming. The one through which Blizzard made greed the main element of Diablo 3. It wasn't enough, it was gonna sell millions of copies. They wanted more. Well, they got more. And in the process, they had to make sure no one can tamper with the game, so no mods in it, that no one can play it in single player, and I don't know, edit their save file to give themselves more money, or actually personalize their experience in any way, and they made sure that the items were complete crap, that magic items would be better than unique ones, and that all your skills, all their capabilities, all their damage would be drawn directly from the damage of the weapon you would buy from that auction house. That's still in the game. That's still absolute crap in terms of design, even though at one time it wasn't. Number 2, the skill runes. Remember when they announced the skill runes? They had that very funny presentation with how do we evolve past the skill tree. Let's make a skill heraldic cube. Oh man, that was funny. But they came up with an amazing idea. Skill runes. Random drops you would get in the game with certain levels of quality which could augment your skills in different ways. Now there was a chance you wouldn't find certain skill runes by yourself, so you would have to trade with other players to get the exact ones you wanted. Just imagine, encouraging people to trade with others to trade in-game objects, not with real-world cash, in order to get them to socialize more, to cooperate, to search for that perfect character build together. But they abandoned that idea. They abandoned it because, at one point, Blizzard became exceedingly lazy. It was too hard, it was too complicated. You were too lazy. You already had the system in-game, you already showed it working, and then you ditched it in favor of not even a skill tree. You made a skill line, one one with no decision involved, one where you don't actually have a character build. Everything you get to unlock anyway, with no sense of actually having all those skill runes unlock at certain levels. If they're all meant to be valid ways of play, why not even let a player choose which rune he unlocks at a certain level? Just scale the damage. And it's not like leveling takes much in Diablo 3 anyway. You can get to level 16 2 hours by power leveling. Just let people play the way they want, for God's sake. The skill runes could have done that. The skill runes could have been very interesting. How do I know that? Because Path of Exile has the exact same goddamn system, and it's amazing. The kind of insane crap you can do in that game is perhaps just a hint of what you could have done with all the runes and all the skills in Diablo 3 if Blizzard weren't so goddamn lazy. So lazy that, number 1, they made it World of Warcraft. Now, I've had people tell me ever since their first trailer that this isn't Diablo, that this is World of Warcraft. And I told them no, this is Diablo. They've complained about graphics and I've laughed at them because graphics don't really matter. This is Diablo. This is gonna be Diablo. This is gonna be Diablo 3. This is gonna be great. I mean, it has Leonard Boyarsky working at the world design. It has a joke about the goddamn mushroom from Diablo 1. I love the lore. I really like all the interaction you have with all those characters. It makes the world feel so much more alive. But goddamn, they did make World of Warcraft again. It's a linear progression of skills where you don't really have that much choice. Stats don't matter, you just get them from weapons. Levels are mostly not interesting, and it's all based on doing raids nowadays. Well, yeah, we used to do ball runs back in the day, Mephisto runs, Diablo runs, but now they just make raids. They specifically made raids for it. They just made a treadmill for constantly getting better and better gear that has no soul to it, has no magic to it. You're not trying to make that Griswold set that will make your paladin the holiest of all with his own aura. No, you're just grinding to get a better magic item that's better than a unique item. You don't get to build a character, no, you just get items. Your skills, they don't matter. Single player, what the hell is that? Your health potion, well, it has a cooldown because it's an MMO. Your skills, they have cooldowns as well. Even Blizzard admitted that Diablo 3 cut into the audience of World of Warcraft. They saw diminishing players in World of Warcraft because of Diablo 3. Probably because they just made World of Diablo-craft instead of actually making Diablo 3. But hey, now that they're working on a new title, maybe an expansion that will fix everything I'm mad about, all the things I get fed up with whenever I start playing it again, then I'll actually be able to enjoy this game properly. Well, as properly as I can for something that killed a certain character in a most undignified way. By a flunky? Really? A flunky gets to do that? A no-name, 2-bit unknown, who the hell is even that character supposed to be in this world gets to kill that person? That's like Shia LaBeouf becoming Indiana Jones level of cringiness. Or maybe they're gonna work on Diablo 4 and we'll forget that Diablo 3 ever happened. Well, that's it for the top 7 reasons why Diablo 3 is still crap. Looking forward to the hate mails and the people telling me that I'm not allowed to criticize Diablo, which you may think that's a joke, but people have actually told me I'm not allowed to criticize Diablo. And then people wonder why game series like Call of Duty turn to crap, but everyone still buys them.
If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Or, if you thought it was horrible, then share it with your enemies and make them suffer. We shall be your weapon of vengeance. But if you liked what you saw, you could, I don't know, maybe donate, because basically YouTube is horrible at revenue, by using the link in the description, or just buy my book. It's a fantasy book about, well, a lot of stuff. I guarantee it won't suck, and if it does suck, you can find me here and complain about it.